So my name's Loni, and this is my brother Elijah.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys about trust.
Trust. It's easy for some people, but then when it comes to other people, it can be really difficult.
Google's definition of trust is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And to kind of narrow it down, I took out some words, and so I changed it to a firm belief in the ability of someone, and that someone is God and the ability is what he can do. So trust is a firm belief in what God can do. And to take it a step further, my question for you guys is, how much are we willing to trust God? Are we willing to trust him enough to let him know just our name and our favorite color, or who our friends are and who we like to hang out with?
Or even that crush that you secretly know of.
Or how about that thing that you did last week that nobody knows about? He knows about it, but he wants you to trust him enough to tell him and ask him for forgiveness yourself. He's not going to judge you about it because he loves you and he cares about you.
And he'll never force you either.
Speaking of trust,
we have 2 stories or testimonies that we would like to share because it really goes through trust and it would be really neat to share. So, yeah. I'm going to start first because my story is short. Now, my story starts with passion. This passion of mine was singing. Now, some of you might know this, but I really like singing because it's my passion. I do it wherever I go. I do it when I'm just walking, when I'm sitting down, or even when I'm laying down. Heck, I'm going to admit it now, I do it in the shower. And, sorry, this is funny. Anyway, so I ended up thinking about it a lot, and I was like, since I like singing so much, why don't I use it for God? Because he gave me that talent, and I know it'd be good to use it for him. So I told Uncle Nick this one day, and he agreed, and on a Wednesday, a long time ago, he let me sing with my sister Nikki, hi Nikki, and everything like that. And I started using it for God, and I was really happy, but
the thing is, when you do something for God, the devil's going to try and stop you.
And he did. He really hit me hard with a bunch of stuff, and it really made me upset.
He would tell him things like, you're not good enough.
That I can't sing.
If you go up there, it's just going to be an embarrassment.
And a bunch of stuff like that. It really hit me hard, but on a Thursday, this week actually, pretty recent, I looked at this video that my uncle showed me that he sent a while back. At first, when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, it's just something else. But when I look at it now, I really got the meaning of it, because what I needed was confidence. And that was the title of it, Confidence. And I really, honestly, it was awesome. I can't really explain it. All the feelings that the devil kept telling me and everything that he kept telling me, it really felt like it just vanished, because all of it felt like it retired and it was out of my body. And I was really happy, honestly. But not only did God do that for me, he sent me this verse, 2 Thessalonians 3, chapter 3, verse 3. But the Lord is faithful. He will give you strength and protect you from the evil one. Now, honestly, I thought this was pretty relevant. So after I read it, I was like, whoa, okay, this is relevant. So I started thinking about it. I mean, I already knew that he was faithful, but when I read this, I was like, there's no need to be scared anymore. If the devil attacks me, I know I'll have that strength and protection. So from here on out, I've just been doing what I love. I love singing for God, and heck, I'm up here preaching right now. I'm heckin' nervous, but I know I can trust him. So you know what? It's okay. But that's enough about me. Loni, do you want to share your story now?
Okay, so I was really on edge about sharing this because it was kind of personal, but then I realized that it's not really for me. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for God. So here we go. 3 years ago, I became a Christian at church camp. And after that, I started going to church every Sunday and, reading my Bible. And every Sunday, there's always people who speak in tongues, and there's always a translation, and I was really fascinated with that. I thought that was super cool, and like I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to be just like them. So I would like pray about it, and my second year of camp rolls around, and my dad asked me, he's like, Loni, what do you want to get from camp this year? And I was like, Dad, I kind of want to speak in tongues. And so I prayed about it, and that year I didn't get to, and I was upset, but I wasn't like too upset. This past year, my dad asked me again, and I told him, I was like, Dad, I want to speak in tongues. But this time, I said it more confidently. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to. Like, this is my year. And so I went into camp, and I was praying about it, like, every night. And then the, night that they, like, dedicate it to, kind of, like, talking about the Holy Ghost, and, like, that's when, like, they really push for it. I was like, yes, this is my night. I'm going to do it. I'm so excited. Like, I'm so pumped. And I was raising my hand, and I was screaming, like, yelling the lyrics of the words. And so I was just so, like, happy. And then everybody around me is, like, speaking in tongues, and I can feel, like, the love of God, like, onto us. And so I didn't get to speak in tongues, and I was really upset, and I felt alone because I felt like everybody else was able to, and I wasn't. And so I was super sad. And so I know after that, like, I didn't want to talk to anybody because the devil was just like, you're not good enough to be a good Christian. You have to speak in tongues. So, Loni, you're not good enough. Like, you're not worth it. Don't even try. And so I believed everything he was saying because he got me at my worst. He was attacking me at my insecurities. And so then that night I was, like, crying about it a little bit. And then another person came in the room. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but they were going through the same thing. And they've been going through it. And so we were talking, and I realized that everything that person was saying, I was feeling, and I understood, and I didn't feel alone anymore. And I know that God sent her in there and told her to talk about it. And so me being able to understand that she was going through the same thing that I was going through, it felt good to know that I wasn't alone. And then God didn't only send me that person, but he also sent me another person. I'm not going to say who it is, but I also talked to them, and they were going through the same thing that I was going through. And I was able to pray for them. I prayed for both of them and me in, like, my own time or whatever. And after that, God sent me this Bible verse, Proverbs 3:5. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I was leaning on my own understanding of when the devil told me that I wasn't a good enough Christian. So I was basically telling myself, you're not good enough. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And that's not even true at all. You don't have to speak in tongues to be a good Christian. And I was believing that because that's what I felt like. And so I learned right then that I needed to trust him and trust his plans for me and what he's going to use my talents and all that for. Not just not feed into the devil. And I need to trust what God is telling me and what his plans are for me. So what I'm trying to say is you should trust God with your problems, whatever's going on in your life. Treat him basically like your best friend because he's always there for you. He knows what's going on in your life. He's standing right here. He's patting me on my shoulder because I'm so nervous to talk. And so, he's there for you always on your happiest days, on your lowest days, on
the days that you just don't feel like doing anything, or on the days where you're just, like, super excited, you're pumped. Days like that. When
you're in a fight with your best friend and you and your best friend are like this, and he's standing right there with his arms open, ready for you to run into his arms and hug you because he wants to be there for you, but he's not going to force it on you. So you need to trust him that he's going to be there for you.
And that's why we trust in him and we believe in him, because we know that if you're having problems or you just need help, you can go to the Lord and he'll give you the confidence and strength that you really need. And we believe that if you trust in him too, the same thing will happen. Thank you.
Thank you.